As AEP PSO works to build the state's largest wind power complex, it's also asking for a rate hike of nearly $170 million. Tied up in that rate hike request are millions in a tax windfall and millions more in environmental recovery costs for shutting down an old coal plant. A group of businesses, industry, and the federal government are all seeking to cut that rate hike by more than half.
Public Service Company is asking the Corporation Commission to approve a rate hike of $169.6 million. Some $80 million of that is to recover losses from closing the company's Northeastern No. 4 coal plant as part of an agreement with the EPA to reduce pollution. The case has already been heard by an administrative law judge who issued a report cutting that rate hike to $81.2 million. At a hearing over the report, Jack Fite, attorney for PSO, argued that the judge's report sells the company short on what it cost to close the coal plant.
This is the last part of the environmental compliance expenditures that has not been approved for cost recovery.
The judge's report also recommends allowing PSO only to recover its investment in the shutdown plant. The company wants much more.
These are costs that are being incurred to not serve new load, but just to serve the existing load. And we don't have the sales from existing customers to help to offset the $82 million write-off.
PSO is facing a number of organizations that largely agree with the judge's findings. Thomas Schrader represents Oklahoma Industrial Energy Consumers. While his group largely supports the ruling, they think $81.2 million is still too much.
So OIEC has recommended an approximate $60 million total revenue increase. So we see $20 million of adjustments.
Deborah Thompson represented AARP. The group supports the judge's findings.
And I would note that PSO's exceptions to the ALJ report essentially attack every substantive decision that she made to calculate her recommendation to this commission, and we do not think that is proper.
Matthew Dunn, an attorney for the Department of Defense, agrees, saying PSO's claim that its financial condition is suffering does not match the facts.
I would call it all hat and no cattle. Now, it's true that they're earning below their authorized return, but so are many other utilities.
The Oklahoma Hospital Association also backs the report, but has concerns about how the fuel adjustment clause would work.
Approximately 25% of the overall expenses of a hospital that have beds relate to energy and power charges. Of that, approximately half of that 25% can be attributed to fuel adjustment clause pass-throughs.
Assistant Oklahoma Attorney General Dara Derryberry told the commission the AG's office found that more than half of PSO's request is unfounded.
The ALJ's conclusion that PSO did not establish a basis for approximately $88 million of its total request has firm grounding in the evidence presented in this case.
But there was an issue that hung over the hearing. What happens to the millions of dollars PSO and other public utilities will now be collecting because their taxes were cut from 35% to 21% under the new Trump tax bill? Thomas Schrader argued that isn't PSO's money.
It's the ratepayers' money. It's the right thing to do.
AARP's Deborah Thompson.
Now, you would not expect to pay a tax that is phantom, that is fake, and that will never be paid by the utility. That results immediately in unjust and unreasonable rates.
The day the new tax bill became law, Attorney General Mike Hunter filed an application to lower PSO's electric rates and to provide for any refund to consumers. And refunds may be necessary because PSO began benefiting from the new law on January 1st.
PSO's customers are overpaying for PSO's now lower income tax liability to the tune of at least $67,000 and more likely over $100,000 per day.
The new tax law benefits PSO an estimated $24 million a year. Administrative Law Judge Mary Candler held a hearing on the Attorney General's motions just before the PSO hearing. She agreed with the Attorney General that the money PSO and other utilities will receive should be given back to its customers.
That order should say that that the order would make rates subject to refund.
She also ordered Corporation Commission staff to track the money as it's collected, and Commissioner Bob Anthony wants that order written up quickly.
I renew my request to the Attorney General's office by the close of business tomorrow to get a proposed order that reflects the granting of your motions.
Commissioner Anthony also wants those orders posted by Monday as an interim order. The tax issue involves PSO, OG&E, ONG, CenterPoint Energy, and Arkansas-Oklahoma Gas Corporation. As far as PSO's rate hike request is concerned, the Commission took it under advisement.